All right, things are looking pretty interesting right now because Bitcoin has continued to get rejected at the 71k level. It's actually happened like 4 or 5 times now. We're going to be talking about that a little bit in this video. And of course, the possibility of Bitcoin managing to continue to skyrocket and set brand new all-time highs, which we're very close to doing even now. Or the risk of Bitcoin falling back down to the low 60s, potentially even low 50k range. The halving is now 18 days away, ladies and gents, which means that it is absolutely very, very close at this stage. It's even less than that, actually. And what that means is a lot of people are going to be expecting volatility. I want to talk to you about what's going to happen with the halving too, because as you know, when you come to this YouTube channel, we're not here to gas you up, hype you up, get you excited and jumping and fucking ready for a party or anything like that. That is completely fucking ridiculous gambling behavior. We're only interested in the pure, cold, hard facts and what they mean and where we can position our capital to make money. That's what this YouTube channel is all about. So if you're excited for this video, do me a favor and smash up those likes. Obviously, check out the phenomenal bonuses available to you guys with the links in the description down below as well, because you're going to get a $30,000 free trading bonus up to 30k, which you can trade with. You can deploy that capital into the market. Any profits you generate are yours to keep on Bybit. They are also running a phenomenal free $500 position on Bitcoin promotion right now. You can just go long or short with a free $500, which is super, super cool, following that link in the description below. And you've got some no KYC alternatives as well. Very, very strong options linked down below. Check them all out if you are interested. But let's come back to the video here and talk about this price action, because what we've had right now is this little box of support, and I'm actually going to just drop this down just a little bit right here, that Bitcoin has now returned to. And what that means is Bitcoin is basically just trading sideways between these two ranges now. We've got the high up here at about 71k, we've got the low at about 68.5. This is a sideways trading range, and if we take it back, this is actually previously where we were finding a little bit of support and a little bit of resistance. So this is an established key level for this chart. We don't really have like key levels per se, because you know this chart is just so immature right now. We haven't really spent much time up at these price levels, but this is the best we've got, you know, and it very clearly, I think, indicates that this is a kind of sideways range that we are trading in right now, which means that this is support. So naturally, with sideways ranges, you're going to be expecting that things kind of come up to the top here, get rejected, come back to the bottom, you know, but there are some interesting signs that we can start to use to see if we're going to be able to actually get a bounce off here and then continue to produce some upward price action, maybe set some all-time highs, or if we're actually going to be dropping. And I want to start talking to you a little bit about those. But before we go into those kind of indicators, let's just continue to look at this naked chart and try and answer that question. So, you know, if we look at this from this perspective here, from the support, we haven't really challenged this area of support much. We've been down here once before, and now we're down here again. If we lose this level, we're looking at dropping down to the next areas of support. This is very, very standard. We already know this. We've been through this 10 million times on this YouTube channel. Those of you that are subscribed are going to be very, very familiar with this concept. If you are trading at a certain support level, let's say it's right here, and let's say the next support level is here, and if you lose this level, you're probably going to drop down to the next area. And if the next area of support is here, you're probably going to drop down to the next area. And what's really important to understand about these support levels is that it doesn't matter if the next area of support is here or if the next area of support is here. The market doesn't care about that. You will care about that. The other traders in the game will care about that, but the market itself doesn't care about that. And you really need to keep that in mind, because a lot of people are going to get scared when these drops start getting bigger. But what you need to understand is that it's only one level down to another level. It's not one level down by $30,000 to another level. It's just there's support here and then there's support here, and we don't care about what happens in between. It's all fluff. It's actually, those are the parts where we make money. You got to be positioned before that. So the reason I'm saying this is because if we're looking for strong areas of support, we literally only have this block over here in the very low 60k range, and then 52, and then our only real strong area of support is actually down here at 42. We don't have any real strong areas of support, in my opinion, from everything I'm seeing, until we go down to 42k. And the reason I'm saying that is very, very straightforward. It is because if you look at this chart on a sideways kind of perspective, we've only had up to this point now 32 days to trade in this price range, right? Take a look at this. This was 64 days. So we've spent double the period of time in this range, and this range only spans 9%. Currently, the range we are in spans 22%. This is a really important note that helps us understand where important price levels are. We're looking for how much time we spend in a certain price range and how narrow that price range is. If the price range is really big, like right now, 22%, then it's not a big. It's not a dependable price range. It's too much. You can't really like expect anything to happen with that. If the price range is a little bit smaller, if it's a little bit narrower, then you know, okay, that's a place where we can start buying. That's a place where we can start maybe taking profits, whatever. So these things help us really position ourselves in the market, and then it's time spent at those levels. The longer you spend at these levels, the more significant they become in terms of psychologically charged areas in the market, and just generally where money is going to be waiting to enter or leave or whatever the case may be. So now, if we take a look at it from that perspective, we don't have any time spent in any particular price range. This whole price range has been, we enter a price range, we leave it. We enter a price range, we leave it. It's always just been like, we're always on the move, we're always doing something. And that's great, and that makes it really nice for trading, but what it does mean also is that we don't actually have a chance to establish any key levels. The best we've got on this chart right now, honestly, might just be where we are right now, because we've actually been able to stay here for the first time for 7 days. We weren't able to stay anywhere else for 7 days in this market so far. Everything else was much more volatile. So that's really important to keep in mind. And it's not just for right now. What I'm trying to do with you guys on this YouTube channel is give you information that's going to be useful right now, but also information that's going to be useful for your entire life as a trader as well on this YouTube channel. We're not holding anything back. I don't care about secrets and stuff like that. This shit is fucking hard enough as it is. I can tell you absolutely everything that I know, and I certainly do. And it's still not going to make a big difference for most people, because trading is still incredibly fucking difficult from the psychological point of view. That's why I don't actually worry about what I talk about on this YouTube channel. A lot of people are like, oh, well, Sammy, aren't you worried about like sharing your secrets? Like, fuck no. Most people can't do anything with my secrets. So the only thing I do is I gain credibility by talking about what I'm talking about. Pardon me. And those who want to listen and who want to use what I'm talking about to their own benefit are going to do it, and those who don't won't do it. And frankly, thankfully, none of that is any of my business. I'm just here to give you guys value. If you guys are happy, then you know exactly what to do. Check out those links down below for phenomenal bonuses. They help the channel out, and they give you free capital to trade with, which is so powerful. And of course, we've got phenomenal no KYC alternatives. And of course, make sure you're subscribed and all that good stuff as well. Hitting the like button, it does really help. Now let's talk about the more local price areas. If we do end up kind of losing this price area, we're looking at about 66k down to the very low 60s. I'm not too worried about that, and the reason I'm not too worried about that is right here. If we take a look at the Ichimoku Cloud indicator, which I'm just loading up on the chart right now, bear with. I don't know why it's not loading up. Let me just go ahead and refresh the page and see if that helps out right here. Just bear with while I deal with these really annoying network issues. I think there was indeed a network issue, and I think that's why it wasn't working as well as I would have liked it to. Let me just bam, this should sort it out now. So let's see how this goes. Move it back onto the Bitcoin chart and Ichimoku Cloud, and yeah, there we go. That's loaded up there. So we've got a really nice 4-hour Ichimoku Cloud that's just developing right now, which means Bitcoin's actual area of support is literally just going to open up right now, which is really nice. Very reassuring. On the 1-hour time frame, we have lost our support cloud. Let's go back to the 4-hour and look at momentum. We've lost 4-hour momentum. Daily momentum is very much there, and I think this is actually the best thing that's going in Bitcoin's favor right now. If we look at this from the daily momentum perspective, we've got our top EMA literally right where we are right now, and we've got our bottom EMA stretching all the way down to 61.7. So that's a really nice big price range that we're actually covering with the daily EMA ribbon, which means that there's lots of space for Bitcoin to drop and still be in a very bullish posture from this particular momentum perspective. So that's also really good. It's actually been a very reliable indicator overall. It's failed us once over here, but basically since Bitcoin actually took off from the 25k level, this was the big sideways for 7 months, but since we actually got the real kind of breakout, it's been 100% reliable, only with this one exception here. So definitely a strong indicator in my opinion, definitely something that could be useful for telling us where a bounce might be coming in. So I'd be interested to see, how deep we fall into it. On this occasion, we fell 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5, 6 lines of 5, 6 EMA lines down. The deeper we penetrate, the better. It just means that we're getting nice deep pullbacks before we continue going higher, so that'd be absolutely great. And the general posture for this market is still not bad either. I mean, just on this very short-term chart, sure, it might not be like amazing like it was before, but generally speaking, what we are still looking at is very clearly a sideways range happening at an all-time high. So I can't be bearish on this market from that particular perspective. I do want to see a pullback, and I think the longer it takes, the worse it's going to get. Even if we trade sideways right now, if our punishments in the market now look like sideways trading ranges instead of moving down, that doesn't mean we're not going to get the deep price-based corrections too. We got two types of corrections, right? We got time-based corrections, and we got price-based corrections. Sometimes the market gives us both, sometimes just one of them. Right now, very clearly, we're just doing time-based corrections, right? I mean, if you take a look at this right here, this was a massive time-based correction that lasted 7 months. This was another time-based correction that lasted 2 months. This is another time-based correction that we're doing right now, and it's lasted probably about... well, how long has it lasted? I'm actually curious now. Yeah, we've already calculated, haven't we? Yeah, it's lasted 1 month, so... I think that's useful to look at. There's a couple more bits that are really interesting though, and I want to talk to you about altcoins as well. But before I get there, let's talk about the dollar. I think the dollar is one of the key reasons that Bitcoin is struggling a little bit right now. The S&P 500 also pulling back ever so slightly right now, but still basically at an all-time high. The dollar is what's interesting, and the reason it's interesting is because we actually looked at this on a recent video. If you were subscribed, you're going to know about this. We had this area of resistance at about the 104, 105 level, and I was talking to you about how if we break this level, the next area of resistance for the dollar is going to be at about 105, 106. And the reason that's important is because that does allow the dollar to rise up by quite a bit. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but this would, this 1% move would be enough to destabilize the Bitcoin market, and that is exactly what happened. And, I was talking to you about before how Bitcoin tends to trace what the dollar does in the opposite direction 10 times more strong. So if the dollar rises up by 1.6%, Bitcoin drops by 16%. That is not a clear correlation or inverse correlation. There's no science behind that. I haven't tested that extensively. It's just a characteristic that Bitcoin looks like it is exhibiting right now. It makes sense. Bitcoin is a very volatile asset. It's a very young asset. It's a very small asset compared to the dollar. So naturally, we are going to expect Bitcoin to move in more explosive ways than the dollar. And if we already know that there's a pretty clear inverse correlation, there's a pretty clear negative correlation, which is to say that when the dollar moves up, Bitcoin tends to move down, we can start to expect certain things to happen with the price action. So that's already been coming true pretty well. So I think if the dollar does continue to move up, then that will send Bitcoin below this area of support, probably down into the low 60K range to tag this area. And this would still be a really nice potential buy zone in the market as well, I think. So that would be quite interesting. If we take a look at the daily Ichimoku Cloud, it's still so far away from us. But, if we do go 2 weeks into April, by the way, happy Easter or Trans Visibility Day, depending on which side of the American political spectrum you're on. Absolutely fucking crazy that they hijacked Easter and made it Trans Visibility Day. But there we are. That is 2024 for us. But if we do go 2 weeks into the future and look at the Ichimoku Cloud right here, we have got phenomenal support if we're able to stay in this price range for the next 2 weeks and then kind of drop down to the bottom of it later on. It would still be really, really good for the market. Let's take a look at Bitcoin's dominance. We're trading at the top. We're not trading. We don't trade this, but we're sitting quite stable at the top of this range here, this 64% range. If we go ahead and remove the indicators and then zoom out, we'll start to put this in perspective a little bit more. It's clearly still pointing toward an upward breakout. We're clearly still pointing toward a breakout where altcoins are going to get absolutely fucking smashed compared to Bitcoin. That either means Bitcoin is going to move up by quite a bit, and then we're going to be looking at a nice big recovery. Sorry for the phone, guys. It either means that Bitcoin is going to be moving up quite a lot, and sorry, actually, altcoins are going to stay stable. Or what it means is that Bitcoin's going to drop and then altcoin's going to drop with it. So it's going to be one of those two, I think. It's hard to say which one exactly, but that's what I'm looking at right now as it stands in this market. Now, if we take a look at some of the altcoins and just look at where they're at as well, we've got Ethereum basically just falling out of its range a little bit right now. It looks like it's got a pretty deep drop if a drop does end up happening. We're probably going to see a somewhat similar picture across the rest of the altcoins. If we take a look at Matic right now, yeah, right back to the bottom of this range. If we lose these areas, there are nice big drops that we could be seeing in the altcoin market. That's a 20%. The reason I'm saying these are nice is because they're going to open up really nice entry levels, right? We're not expecting these markets to die. We're not expecting Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of these other altcoins to die unless they're really bad coins and they're not majors, they're not top cap, large cap coins. Then there's a little bit more space to say, okay, this project might actually just evaporate and finish. But for the bigger ones, generally that's not what we're expecting. So if we get better prices, that's only a good thing. And I think that tells us pretty clearly. I mean, this is the top of the range. If we lose the top of the range, we're probably down to the bottom of the range. It's happened a million times already. I don't know why this time would be different. We're just constantly, zigzagging between this range. So if we lose this level here, it is probably going to be back down to the bottom. Nice 20% drop on Matic, and it is, representative of the rest of the market. All of the other coins are looking at kind of similar patterns right now. Here's Cardano in a slightly different place, but still the same situation where if we lose this level, it's probably a big drop down to the next area of next major area of support. Solana is probably one of the exceptions in a way. But yeah, I mean, it's just got a deeper drop if a drop does end up happening. So I think that's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye out for. Obviously, none of this might happen, and Bitcoin could just continue to set brand new all-time highs. But, you know, still, I don't know how likely we're actually going to be expecting that to be. You know, and if we do take a look at you know, just the top of this range, if we do end up breaking it though, you know, I mean, it's not going to be too difficult, is it? I mean, you know, we were only getting rejected here for a week. We had a little bit of support here back toward the beginning of the month, but you know, of March. But you know, I think that if Bitcoin is able to break it, then you know, that's it. This is our new kind of key level to break. So watch the 71k level. If Bitcoin breaks the 71k level, I don't think 74k is going to be a problem. I think we're back to setting brand new all-time highs. Until and unless that happens, I think we're looking at you know, probably revisiting the bottom of this range now. You know, before continuing on any higher. So it's pretty close. I mean, you know, it's not going to take a lot to push Bitcoin up to that level. We've only got to move up by $3,000. That's not even a 5% move at this stage. So, you know, I don't think it's going to take a lot to push Bitcoin higher, but I think that it does depend on, you know, other factors like even the dollar and so on. You know, so those are things that we're going to be keeping an eye out for on this YouTube channel as well. I've got a couple more notes I want to talk to you about, but I don't have time in this video, so I'm going to save them for the next one. If you are interested in hearing those notes, then make sure that you are subscribed and you've hit the like button on this video so that you don't miss out on all of this very time sensitive content. Obviously, you've got phenomenal offers in the description down below. Please bear in mind that your local country's regulations are going to prohibit you from using these if you are in certain countries. So please check which country, well, you already know which country you're in, but please check which laws apply in your country for these exchanges before you use them. But if you are allowed, you're going to get huge bonuses. You're getting over $100,000 in bonuses using the links down below. Bybit remains the best exchange in the game. There's no debate about it. I am working with them, have been for many, many years, but not many, many years. How long has it been? Like 4 or 5 years? That's a long time in crypto. That's a really long time. You know, but I was using them before I started to work with them, and that's because they're the best in the game. So definitely worth checking them out. You get huge bonuses for signing up to this exchange, including just a free $500 Bitcoin position. But if you want alternatives, these are phenomenal other options that you could also consider. BingX allows you to trade traditional finance, and it is no KYC. And 2Bit is giving you up to 9K in bonuses. People have asked me what would I do if I was starting over again. I can't stress enough. Just with the links in the description below, there are very easily accessible bonuses that you guys can get with very small deposits or no deposit at all. CoinW, you don't even have to make a deposit here. And you're going to get huge free cash offers that you can trade in the market. Any profits you generate are yours to keep. If I was starting again and I had no money, I would just rinse the fuck out of all of these bonuses, and I would take every single one of them, and it's all free money. I would trade with that account, and you know, I'd go from having zero money to potentially thousands of dollars in bonuses, you know, that I can trade with, and just, you know, start my trading journey from there. So super cool, very interesting that it's all available there. So check it all out. And if you want to see my 4Flights Gold Telegram channel, where I'm giving you more analysis for myself and my team around the clock, then follow this link in the description down below. With that, ladies and gents, I hope you have enjoyed this one. You know exactly what to do if you have, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.